Welcome, welcome. Dr. Stephen Hobbs here from the Wealth Movement, sharing an insight about co-creating the well-living workplace. In the times that I've helped organizations co-create the well-living workplace and help individuals to create the well-living workplace, there has been an organizational structure that I have been fascinated with. And I want to share it with you today because it's one of those structures that seems to be out there in the business world, in the world of the organization of work, that I'm not sure that we really understand a lot about it. And I wanted to explore it with you. So what I'm talking about is what I would call network-based management. So the management of the systems for the persons, but from a network point of view, this notion of network, because it's an organizational structure that we sort of seek to have in our organizations. Because in many ways, I just share some thoughts with you, is when all people know that they manage and lead and that they fulfill their accountabilities, then they realize that they work in a network. Because some of the characteristics of a network are, there's no center, no beginning, no end, except by human construct in a sense. And when we put a boundary, it says, okay, we're going to start this network and we're going to close this network down. The boundary of like the computer network in terms of how much space there is to work with. But another thing is that when you look at a network and you draw it up, it's very much looks like a place of synergy because all the arrows are moving in and out of the different elements of the system. This network is in full flight. It's sort of a synergistic arrangement, and that's kind of a fascinating way of looking at it. One of the other elements of it that I think is important to this network-based management is that it's one of the least structured organization charts that you would see, because when we think of the organization chart, we think of the boxes and the lines and it's sort of falling down. We also have ones like matrices where you've got sort of X and Y, Zs. But the network is very much a sort of open up, and really who's ever talking at the time, it's sort of that's where the blinking light is, and the others are interacting accordingly. So I wanted to bring that to your attention because it might be something to strive towards, more than it is to say, okay, we're going to create a network. Because here's the thought. I believe that the network structure in the well-living workplace is approachable, but not necessarily obtainable. And if it is obtainable, it's very unlikely you're going to be able to sustain it because you're going to have to back off from that network because it has very much a generative feeling to it. You're generating ideas all the time, and you can't sustain that kind of a workplace, that kind of structure for very long because it's a very high vibration and people are coming up with ideas. That's why we tend to go into facilitated meetings, get ideas, and then leave, than it is to stay in there the whole time. It's sort of like the flip side of being reactive, where you're always reacting what's taking place. This generative way of looking at it is you're coming up with ideas, but where do you land is an important piece. So I think network is a great structure to work towards as you're co-creating the well-living workplace. It's just realize that you may not actually get there, but you would still see the benefits of working from that kind of organizational structure and what this notion of network-based management would mean. People fulfilling their accountabilities, people realizing that they manage and lead, and therefore are going to take care of the system, take care of the network to be able to get involved with one another, generate the ideas, get the work done. So it's a perspective. It certainly answers the question, so what else, now what? So what is, okay, there's a network, what else? Well, let me look at this and explore it. Would it make sense for our organization to go after a network? And now what is, if it is, how can you do that? Now, one of the great places to have a conversation about this is in the course that's available to you at wealthmovement.com/organizational-health. We can certainly play with this idea. There's a chapter about so what else, now what, that we can explore this possibility. But you can also bring it up in other places, because one of the characteristics, one of the dimensions of the well-living workplace is this movement towards network-based management. So with that, take care.